Hello everyone, it's time for another tip of the week. This week, I thought I wanted to share some insights on how to create the illusion of depth, like what we see in this recent painting I did. On paper, there's only very few inches, but in landscape, what we as artists wanted to create is the dramatic depth as an illusion. Most of the time, if you just use a photo, the camera is not that great when it's capturing the distance illusion for you. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. So if you look at this photo, this one, from here to the back of the mountain, the camera just gives you almost exactly same green color, and there's a little bit of cooler and the darker color in the background. So if you just copy this into your painting is not going to look like has the real distance and the human being eyes can interpret. So what should we do? If you come back and look at the painting again, what I did was actually an illusion that I used a thing called aerial perspective, or sometimes it's called atmospheric perspective, which used the illusion of in the distance, because the air, everything gets lighter, blurred, and not a high contrast. And until it comes to the very close front, it gets darker and more contrast, and sometimes the color gets warmer by comparison to the distance colors. So that's the illusion we as an artist wanted to create instead of copying a photo straightly. Here's another painting I did. It uses the same concept, though this is an ocean view. You see from here to here, from the back mountain to here, it's pretty much painted from a very light to gradually darker and a very cool to gradually warmer color. Okay. And this is the illusion that you can use to be in any landscape painting and cityscape painting. All these the area perspective, or called atmospheric perspective, will help you to create this illusion. Just don't copy what's in the photo directly. Okay, so now with that said, let me use this photo as reference and paint this one into a painting. See how we can do that on the paper using atmospheric perspective. So here's the drawing I did based on that photo. As I said, I'm not going to copy that photo at all. I'm going to create my own painting, just use that one as a reference. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to paint lighter to darker, and the cooler in the background and warmer to the foreground, and I have a higher contrast at the front and a blurred view in the distance. So let's see if we can do this. Okay, gave some wash first, just cover that white sky. This painting is not much about the sky, so I'm just giving a little bit wetness. As I said, the atmospheric perspective in the distance is the illusion that everything is cooler and blurred. So what I'm going to do is, when it's still pretty wet, I'm going to paint the distance mountain. Just ignore the front tree, it doesn't really matter. and gave a very cool color towards the front. Okay, I'll just paint this way. Okay, and then it comes to the middle part of the mountain. In the painting, it just looks like brown, gray, and pretty much everything else is green. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to paint little warmer green color compared to the distant mountains, but still very cool if compared to the front. Okay, so I'm just giving a wash, and the second thing I want to do is that this is still, especially on the top part, it's in the distance. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a lot of things blurred at the top, and you see because it's wet, so it's automatically blurred, and I don't want to make it very clear. So that's where I want to give some soft edges when continue adding the color in here. Comes a little warmer, and maybe there's houses or whatever, so I'll just leave as is. And getting more greens, so I'm just getting a little bit more green to the front, and a little, this is greener than this, and this is greener than that. Okay, so that means it's getting a little bit warmer by comparison. Over there is a lighter and a cooler. So just did that, and when I'm continue doing it, I'm adding a little bit more of the warm yellow into this and give a little richer green gradually, okay, here and there. And there's a bunch of houses in the mountains. I don't know, so I just randomly gave something there. We'll see what we want later, because these are the things that's in the distance and it's not that important. We are creating the illusion of the distance or the depth. Okay, so now come to the foreground. So I don't want this one to run into it here, but I wanted to give this part a lot warmer and a beautiful greens. I think I somehow forgot this part, so let's do a little bit of here. Hopefully that will still work. Okay, a little bit of blue touch, okay, to the mountain. And continue to paint the foreground greens. So let's go this way. And this is going to be a warmer green and a richer, because we human beings sensed distance, say it's getting closer, I can see a lot more. So we can see a lot of things happening in this green part compared to the distance view. So that's what I'm going to do is I'm going to, oops, a little too cool. And give a little warmer green. So I'm going to give a lot richness to these closer greens. Okay. See, what I did is it's gradually getting closer and getting darker and getting warmer. And I think I'll add some shadow afterwards. But right now, I just concentrate on making this distance view. Okay. And even more drastic, I'm adding the warmer green down the hill to make sure that when I'm changing this, I'm giving the richness of the greens. Okay, maybe later we'll add cows or posts, something there. So that's how the drastic change as a first wash is done. Okay, you see, even with what we already have here, the front is darker, but not dark enough. So this is the good time to add a lot more texture, and maybe, let's say I'm adding a little road or something. Okay. And it was, you see how warm this green is by comparison to the distance mountain. Okay. And how dark this is, though in the photo it says, oh, it's just the same green. It's in reality, our human being can say, no, it's a lot closer to me, though it's the same green, I can see a lot more. So that's pretty much as the first wash. I'll be stopping here. You can see the concept. Okay. Okay. I'll take a second look. From the distance mountains to here gradually, this green has changed dramatically. So I'm just getting rid of a little bit of white in there, and I'm bringing some darkness over there, but I don't want to make any closer or clear statement because that's still far away from the house onto the distance hill, and I just make some connection when I'm making these. Looks like details, but it's just connected from here to there, so it's not a sudden change. And then you can, of course, utilize something in the photos as, oh, maybe bushes or trees. So that's what we're getting, okay? And later we can add houses and such, okay? So that's the illusion that we're still working on that. And I'm going to finish it afterwards, but you can see just with this change, things are showing the artistic imagined distance in this wash already. Now here is the almost finished painting. I messed up a few places, but the basic concept for creating the depth or the atmospheric perspective is showing here. It's cooler and lighter in the distance, and gradually getting darker and warmer and clear, higher contrast come to the front. So now you see the barn houses and the trees in the front are much more clear compared to the ones that's in the mountain. And the huge difference created here in the first wash as a contrast make this illusion of the depth that's happening. So now if I take another look at the original photo, so this is how the photo looked like as a pretty flat, and now we artistically created illusion of the depths. So that's all about how to use atmospheric perspective for creating the depths. And I hope this is helpful and you can try out at home. I will put this one as a final piece at the end of this video. Thanks for watching.